Kath, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Last week I shared the timeline of my uni and visa application process, and today I'll be talking about one of the most important parts of the application process, which is the language proficiency examination. So far I have only tried the IELTS and PTE, so I will only be sharing my experiences on those. So anyway, I won't make the intro too long, so let's jump into the video. I've taken my English proficiency exams 3 times, twice with IELTS and once with PTE. And personally, I like the PTE better, not only because I just had to take it only once to pass, but also because I felt like I was more anxious when being graded by an actual person during my IELTS speaking test. Of course, you can choose whichever test you prefer. We all have our own preferences anyway. So, for your information, the English proficiency exams grade you based on 4 criteria: speaking, writing, reading, and listening. For some programs, they might require you to have a higher score in all the parts. Nursing, for example, requires you to have at least a 7.0 score on all the bands for IELTS or 65 on all bands for the PTE test. And if you don't meet that requirement, even if it's just one band, you will likely not qualify for the program. And in my case, for both of my IELTS exams, I got a 6.5 on my speaking test, which is just a half a point lower than the actual requirement. But since the standards require nurses to have at least a 7.0 on all the bands, then I still had to redo my language proficiency test. And fortunately, I aced my PT 3 times the charm, I guess. Anyway, let's talk about the difference between IELTS and PTE. So IELTS had a time limit of 2 hours, and the listening, reading, and writing parts can be conducted via paper and pen test or via computer, while the speaking test will be assessed by an actual examiner. It is usually done within 2 sittings because the speaking test is separate from the other tests, and on the other hand, PTE has a time limit of 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is longer, and all of its parts are assessed only by the computer, and it is done within one sitting. So for my IELTS exam, I took the computer-based test and paid 12,350 pesos. Typically, the test results are available within 3 to 5 business days, and I got mine after 3 business days. And as for my PTE, I paid 12,898 pesos, and the site said that the test results will be available within 3 days, but I got mine within 3 hours after I took the exam. So, yeah. Now, there are definitely some pros and cons for each of the tests I've mentioned. And again, this is based on my experience, so please keep that in mind. Let's discuss the IELTS first. So, for the pros, IELTS speaking tests are conducted one on one, and the test centers are really quiet, which means that there are less distractions when you're taking the test. And as for the cons, some people like myself might find it intimidating to talk to actual people for examiners during the speaking test. On the other hand, for the PTE, there is no human intervention for the evaluation, and you are rated on your proficiency alone. Its parts can also easily be practiced as it is more predictable. You can also incorporate templates in most of the test parts to make your job easier. Then for the cons, I guess, there are about 10 to 15 people or students talking and taking the test all at once. So sometimes you might feel uncomfortable when everyone is speaking at the same time. So just a bit of a story time. When I was taking the PTE, there was this person behind me who was talking so loudly that his voice echoes through the whole room. And I was getting confused with what I'm reading and what I'm hearing from him. And I was really worried that my microphone might pick up what he's saying because it was so loud. So I guess you have to also keep that in mind, I guess. Um, be comfortable with speaking with other people at the same time. Because I wasn't taught to be that way. And I didn't feel comfortable when I was speaking with everyone else, and I was like making mistakes as well when I was reading. And yeah, after the test, I remember being really worried that I have failed for the third time. After failing the IELTS twice, I'm failing the PTE again. That's what I was thinking the whole time. Then I received my results within 3 hours, and I was like really happy that I passed it finally. uh, Personally, I consider the PTE to be easier in comparison to the IELTS test because it is a bit less intimidating. I especially found the IELTS speaking subtest challenging because my thoughts were divided. Should I be focusing solely on my language skills, or should I be thoughtful with my answers as well? So, but in the spontaneous speaking part of the PTE, since you're graded by computers, as long as the system detects that your content is relevant to the topic and is grammatically correct, and your pronunciations are correct as well, you would probably get a good score, which can ease the pressure off your mind when you're trying to answer a test. But yeah, everyone's different at the end of the day anyway. You do you, so whichever one you choose, go for it, girl. I think that's it for the video. Best of luck to you. Ingat ka lagi. Till next time. Bye!